Hello friends, again welcome to my channel. Now today again we are dealing with one of the important method for cultivation of viruses. Within the previous lecture, we are already discussing about two methods for the cultivation of viruses, that is using the embryonated eggs, and the another method is use of laboratory animals for the cultivation of viruses. Now today we are dealing with the cultivation of viruses using the tissue culture technique or by the cell line method. Now, as we are discussing earlier, these viruses, as these are lacking their independent mechanism and they are totally depending upon their host cell to complete their metabolic activities. For that purpose, now these cannot be cultivated using the non-living medium, so they are requiring the living cells for their growth. Now the cell culture or the tissue culture, it is most widely used method for the identification and cultivation of various type of viruses. Now cell culture, it is the process by which the cells these are grown under the controlled condition in which we can easily grow the viruses. Now the different steps which are involved within the cell culture preparation. Now the first of all, the most important thing within this technique, it is to obtain the individual cells. For that purpose, firstly we are isolating the tissues from the organism. Then from that tissue there is the homogenization of this tissue to obtain the tissue fragments. Now we know that this tissue, it is the compact mass of the cells and these are built with each other by a cementing material called as the trypsin. So for the separation of these cells, it is important that to break down this material which is responsible for joining the cells. So for this process, majorly an enzyme it is used, that is the trypsin. This process for the enzymatic disintegration of the individual cells, it is called as the trypsinization. Now this trypsinization method, it is carried out at 4 degrees centigrade for 18 hours. Means the tissue fragments, these are incubated along with the trypsin enzyme at the 4 degrees centigrade for 18 hours, and due to the enzymatic disintegration we are getting the individual cells. Now after getting the individual cells, these obtained cells, these are grown in vitro, that is outside the cell body. These are grown in the vitro on a glass or a treated plastic surface in a suitable growth medium. That is, care should be taken that there is no contamination of these cell lines. Now at the first growth medium, usually there is the use of balanced salt solution containing the 13 amino acids, sugars, proteins, salts, cough serum, buffer, antibiotics and the phenol red are taken and the host tissues or the cell it is inoculated. No doubt here for the proper growth of the cells, we are providing here the amino acids, sugars, proteins, and here again there is the addition of buffer to avoid any changes within the pH of the medium, and the antibiotics, it is to avoid the bacterial contamination. Again the phenol red, it indicates the growth of the cells. Now there are the various types of the cell culture. The 4 different types of the cell culture includes the primary cell culture, diploid or the secondary cell culture, then the suspension cell culture and the permanent cell culture or the continuous cell culture. Now first of all we are dealing with the primary cell culture. Now majorly in the primary cell culture, the tissue fragments, these are first dissociated into the small pieces with the help of scissors or the addition of trypsin. Then whenever the cells we are obtaining, it is called as the primary cell culture. Means the cells directly obtained from the tissue fragments, these are considered to be the primary cell culture. Now the cell suspension, it is then washed couple of times with the minimal essential media and seeded into a flat bottom glass or plastic container. After resuspending it with a suitable liquid medium and the fetal cough serum. Now these cells, these are kept in an incubator. Means after transferring it into the nutrient medium, the cells these are incubated at 37 degrees centigrade for 24 to 48 hours depending upon the cell types that we are using. Now this allows the cells to attach the surface of the container and its division following the normal cell cycle. These are the normal cells derived from animal or the human cells. They are able to grow only for the limited time. Means one of the major limitation for the primary cell culture it is they are only grow for the limited time and cannot be maintained in the serial culture. They are used for the primary isolation of viruses and production of vaccine. The example of this primary cell culture includes the monkey kidney cell culture and the human amnion cell culture. Now here there is the diagrammatic representation for the preparation of the primary cell culture. Firstly, here we are obtaining the organ from the organism, that is the tissue we are obtaining. After that we are getting the tissue fragment, then the digest adhesions with the collagenase, means for getting the tissue fragments. Then again majorly there is the trypsinization to obtain the cells. Again the cells, these are washed, and we are obtaining these cells in the pure form through the differential centrifugation, because as it is mixes with the tissues, different components of the tissues, so for that purpose through the centrifugation technique we are obtaining the cells. Brief treatment, then these individual cells, these are these mass of the cells, these are treated with the trypsin for getting the single cells. Now here whenever we are getting the single cells, majorly these are transferred to the nutrient medium on the flat based surface, and on that there is the formation of monolayers, adherent monolayer, which are formed by these cells. Now the second type, it is the semi-continuous or the diploid or the secondary cell culture. Now they are diploid and contain the same number of chromosomes as the parent cells. Due to that these are considered to be the diploid. They can be subcultured up to 50 times. Means one of the major difference between the primary and secondary culture, it is this diploid cell culture can be subcultured up to the 50 times, and subculturing it is not possible in case of the primary cell culture. Following the senescence and the cell strain, it is lost after the 50 times. Now they are used for the isolation of some fastidious viruses and for the production of viral vaccine. Now the example for the diploid cell culture includes the human embryonic lung strain, rhesus embryo cell strains. Now the third and most important type, it is the heterodiploid culture or the continuous cell line. Now the continuous cell line, these are preferentially derived from the transformed cells or the cancerous cells. They are often able to be subcultured many times, because as these are the transformed cells, so there is the unlimited growth of these cells. For that purpose this can be subcultured many times or even grow indefinite, means there is the indefinite division of these cells. The continuous cell lines may not be exhibit the encouraged dependency, that is they will grow in the suspension and may have lost their contact inhibition, because we know that the cancerous cells, these are not having the contact inhibition property. As a result, this continuous cell line can grow in a piles or lumps as they are losing the contact inhibition property. Now the characteristics of the continuous cell line. Now these continuous cell lines, these are derived from the cancerous cell. They can be serially subcultured indefinitely, so named as the continuous cell line, because we can continuously grow these cells. They can be maintained either by the serial subculture or by storing in the deep freeze at -70 degrees centigrade. Due to the derivation from cancer cells, they are not useful for the vaccine production. Means here we can only cultivate the viruses by using this continuous cell line, but only the primary or the diploid cell cultures, these are used for the vaccine production. The example of this continuous cell line includes the HeLa cells, that is the human carcinoma of cervix cell line, HEP2, that is the human epithelioma of larynx cell line, Vero cells, that is the vervet monkey kidney cell lines, BHK21, that is the baby hamster kidney cell line. Here there is the diagrammatic representation for the production of continuous cell line. Whenever we are obtaining the lung tissues, the individual cells, these are isolated from the tissues, then the primary cell culture it is obtained. Then whenever these are losing the contact inhibition, they are get converted into the secondary cell culture. If we are getting the having the transformed lung tissue, then from that we are obtaining the continuous cell line. Now the susceptible cell lines which are available for the cultivation of viruses includes For the herpes simplex virus, the Vero HEP2 or the human diploid cell culture or the human amnion cell culture. Then for the variozola zoster virus, the human diploid cell cultures, these are used, that is HEL and HEK cell lines. Then for the cytomegalovirus, the human diploid fibroblast cell lines, these are used. For the adenovirus, the HEP2 and HEK cell lines, these are used. For the poliovirus, the MK, BGM, LLC, MK2 and the human diploid cell cultures, these are used. So it is the information about the cultivation of viruses using the cell culture method. So if you like this video, please subscribe my channel. Also share this video with your friends and also click on the bell icon to get the information about the incoming videos. Thank you.